Hey, yo, what it is? It's your boy CJ Mel. We are back with another episode of Marvel's Teams. Marvel's Teams Unmasked, I should say. Sorry. So this we are talking about Brotherhood of Mutants. Yes. So if, as you guys know, the Brotherhood is usually like an evil organization, so to speak. Trying to essentially, they're like the evil part of Oh, how am I blanking out now? Of the X-Men, Professor Xavier's crew. You know what I'm saying? While the X-Men, they try to see everything as equal with the humans and the mutants. The mutants think they're all powerful and they only them should survive. I mean the Brotherhood, I should say. The Brotherhood thinks that. So, but before we start, let's like, share, subscribe, all this good stuff. If you enjoy what you're listening to and all that good stuff, check us out on twitch.tv/CJ underscore Mellow 22. Check us out on X at Mellowpod 22. But you know what I'm saying? Let's go to work. Brotherhood of Mutants. The Brotherhood of Mutants, originally known as the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, sometimes referred to as BOEM, is a fictional team appearing in American comic books published by Marvel Comics. The characters are depicted as being devoted to human superiority over normal humans. They are among the chief adversaries of the X-Men. The group's roster and ideology have varied from incarnation to incarnation, ranging from world domination to serving as a terrorist group that targets anti-mutant public figures. They are almost always at odds with the more peaceful X-Men, though on rare occasions the two sides have allied against a common threat, most notably, Apocalypse. The original Brotherhood was depicted as Magneto's primary allies in his early battles with the X-Men in comics published in the 1960s. The original Brotherhood was ultimately disbanded, with Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch going on to become members of the Avengers. Hence in the movies. The Brotherhood of Mutants was revived under the leadership of Mystique, while the group's most visible incarnation during the early 90s was led by Toad. The Brotherhood of Mutants also has appeared in several animated features featuring the X-Men, has been Magneto's group in the recent X-Men film series. Yes, they have. The original Brotherhood of Evil Mutants was created by writer Stan Lee, rest in peace, and artist/co-writer Jack Kirby, rest in peace, and first appeared in X-Men #4 in March of 1964. While later incarnations of the Brotherhood promoted the group's existence as a political and ideological rival to Professor Xavier's dream of peace with humans, the group was originally conceived as simply a small but powerful army of minions gathered by Magneto to aid in his schemes for world domination. But since the group's second incarnation, the group has become a much more politically motivated group designed to use of violence to provide justice and lead the so-called mutant revolution against mankind. One of the greater ironies of the group has been its use of evil in its name. When his decision to name the group was brought up in an interview, Stanley simply said, "We were kind of corny those days." Since the early 1990s, writers have attempted to explain this way by having Toad describe it as irony based upon the perceived notion that all mutants are evil. Later, writers have opted instead to simply drop evil from the group's name and refer to the group as just the Brotherhood of Mutants, or simply the Brotherhood. In Earth X, Uatu explained that Magneto chose it so that as the opposing side, Charles would be forced to assume the role of good, and that Magneto believed that by locking Charles into absolute of morality, he could manipulate him. Many of the group's members have been shown to be past victims of anti-mutant prejudice, which has made the group a haven for many mutants who feel they are outcasts and pariahs. While many of these outcast mutants have willingly embraced the violent aspects of the Brotherhood ideology, several have ultimately rejected it and left the group because of it. Most notably, Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch left the group due to the disdain for Magneto's various schemes for world domination to join the Avengers, a group of heroes dedicated to help save the world as opposed to ruling it. There's been different leaders, so to speak, of the group. Obviously, most of us mainly know it as like Magneto's Brotherhood, but we're going to kind of like break down different versions of the Brotherhood and stuff like that. Mystique has like her own, she's been a leader like 3 times for some reason. It's kind of weird to me, but the original leader of the team was Magneto, a mutant with the ability to control magnetic fields. It would rather later be revealed that Magneto was a Holocaust survivor, explaining his distrust of humanity and its inability to accept those who are different. The other members of the original team were Quicksilver, who can move and think at incredible speeds, has the Flash, his twin sister Scarlet Witch, who has the power to affect probability fields, the Toad, a sniveling villain with incredible jumping ability and a medieval costume, and Mastermind, though with the power to create illusions of sight, smell, touch, sound, and taste. Quicksilver and Scarlet had joined after Magneto saved Wanda from a mob who believed she was a witch after she accidentally made a house burst into flame. She joined to repay the debt, and Pietro joined to keep her safe. Time and again, the Brotherhood clashed with the original X-Men team consisting of Cyclops, Angel, Beast, Iceman, and Marvel Girl. In their first appearance, taking control of a small country with the aid of Mastermind, creating an illusion of an army, they captured the Angel and took him to Asteroid M, but he was rescued. They tried to recruit the Submariner, and then the Blob, but the X-Men succeeded against them. Finally, Magneto and Toad were captured by an extraterrestrial being called the Stranger, who they first believed was a powerful mutant, but he revealed himself to be an alien. Mastermind had been turned to a block of solid matter by the Stranger. Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch left the team and later joined the Avengers. Later, back on Earth, Magneto reorganized the team 3 times, including such mutants as Blob, Eunice the Untouchable, as well as the Savage Land mutant Lorelei, and creating a team that was later alternately called Mutant Force and the Resistance. Following a battle with the Defenders, the members of the Brotherhood were all transformed into infants by Alpha. The babies were brought to Muir Island, where they were placed under the care of Moira McTaggart. Magneto was later restored to adulthood by Eric the Red, and quickly escaped McTaggart's research facilities. During this incident, the other members of the Brotherhood also regained their adult forms, but discovered that Magneto had abandoned them. Without their leader, the Brotherhood soon teamed up with the Vanisher, as part of a plot to get revenge on the X-Men, but were created by the Champions. After this defeat, the Brotherhood was disbanded, and remaining members were imprisoned. That sucks. Mystique's Brotherhood. The shapeshifting mutant Mystique later organized her own Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. Members included Pyro, the Blob, Avalanche, Destiny, and Rogue. This team, minus Rogue, who had defected to the X-Men, later became the core membership of the government-sponsored team called Freedom Force. As Freedom Force, their membership briefly included Spiral and the second Spider-Woman, and later included Super Saber, the Crimson Commando, and Stonewall. This group both fought and teamed up with several heroic groups, including the Avengers, but ultimately disbanded after Destiny, Super Saber, and Stonewall were killed in action. Mystique faked her death. The Crimson Commando was crippled, and the Blob and Pyro were abandoned on a mission in Iraq. Mystique's second Brotherhood. During the threat of the Legacy virus, Mystique organized another Brotherhood, drawing members from nearly every incarnation, and adding Sabretooth and Martinique Jason to the lineup. A training session also showed a new Super Saber and Commando, but they were not included on the mission. This Brotherhood attempted to kill Senator Robert Kelly, thwarted by Cable, Gambit, Beast, Colossus, and Pyro, but managed to assassinate Moira McTaggart before they were disbanded once again. Excuse me. My throat's bothering me. 1 second, please. Mystique's next incarnation of the Brotherhood again included a new member, Fever Pitch. This Brotherhood had infiltrated the X-Corps and took over the group before it was defeated by the X-Men and Mystique. Sucked into another dimension by X-Corps recruit Abyss, ironically landing the two into the arms of Azazel, who was the father of both Abyss and Mystique's biological son, Nightcrawler. Following her being rescued from her former lover's realm, Mystique would become a reluctant agent of Professor X, doing Black Ops missions for him while employed. Mystique claimed that the second and third Brotherhood formed by her were actually formed by someone trying to frame her, something Xavier dismissed as lies designed by Mystique to gain sympathy from Xavier. Since Mystique feels like she has to control the Brotherhood, she has since got a new Brotherhood, which consists of herself, Sabretooth, Blob, Silver Samurai II, and Lady Mastermind. By using lazy Mastermind's illusions, they commit numerous heists to incriminate the original X-Men, who had recently been brought through time to the present by Beast. With the money the Brotherhood of Mutants robbed in the heist, Mystique acquired Madripoor from Hydra and attempted to turn it into a mutant sanctuary. Posing as Dazzler, Mystique attracted Magneto to the island and showed him her plans. However, Magneto reacted violently to the plan, believing that Mystique and the others were traitors to their species, in part due to allowing the use of mutant growth hormone to run rampant in the streets to fund their operations. He heavily injured Mystique and the Brotherhood and left after making their base collapse. Dude, this dude is mean. He's just mean. So Mystique has controlled the Brotherhood 4 different times. It seems like each time she did it, she was trying to make it like slightly better than the last, which I think is really cool. So I guess also Toad was the leader of the Brotherhood, or at least his own version. Toad has organized a Brotherhood of Evil Mutants on his own at one point, including the Blob and Pyro, a woman named Fantasia who could disrupt electronics and superhuman powers, and the vampiric humanoid Tesoro called Sauron. I think I've seen this before. What he looks? He looks like a pterodactyl, basically, who is not an actual mutant. Toad's Brotherhood was concerned mostly with hatching revenge schemes against the X teams, but was repeatedly defeated by X-Force, X-Factor, Darkhawk, Spider-Man, and the Sleepwalker. Havoc, after being captured and subjected to intensive brainwashing by the Dark Beast, formed his own short-lived Brotherhood of Mutants, whose membership included himself, the Dark Beast, Fatale, and briefly Aurora, Random, Ever, and X-Man. Despite Jean Grey's proclamation that Havoc was acting on his own free will, as well as the plot point of Dark Beast brainwashing Havoc, it was ultimately revealed that Havoc formed the team as part of a sting operation designed to find out the illegal experiments the Dark Beast was performing and fell apart when Havoc and the Dark Beast finally clashed. This incarnation was the first Brotherhood to omit the evil from its name. Now, Professor X also had a team. The following incarnation included new members, the Mimic and Pulse, as well as the Blob and Toad. They freed Charles Xavier from prison and helped the X-Men against animated Cerebro, who created a team of fake X-Men. They later cooperated with Mystique in an attempt to capture the Machine Man. The team disbanded shortly afterwards. During this time period, it was revealed that the teleporter named Astra had been a member of the original Brotherhood, providing Magneto with the technology used to create Asteroid M and locating potential recruits, including Nightcrawler. Though she was in love with Magneto, he did not love her. This rejection led her to quitting the team and served as the motivation behind her creation of the Magneto clone, Joseph. That's new to me. I didn't know there was a clone. Now, the Brotherhood in general. Later, a short-lived Marvel series called The Brotherhood featured a large group of mutant terrorists, unrelated to any other version of the Brotherhood. The group was founded by the mutants Hoffman, Orwell, and Marshall, but Marshall left the group and became a government agent. Hoffman hid his identity under the alias X. Marshall had the orders to take down the Brotherhood, but was really planning on killing Hoffman and become the new X. This series was canceled after 9 issues, at which point all members had either been killed in the power struggle between Hoffman and Marshall, or by the publicity-driven X-Force, later renamed X-Statics. Now, another Brotherhood was formed by former X-Man Xorn, or Xorn is Xorn, who thought he was Magneto. His Brotherhood were his former students Beak, Angel Salvador, Martha Johansson, Basilisk II, Ernest, Esme, and old Brotherhood member Toad. Most members rebelled against Xorn after he accidentally killed Basilisk and his insanity became too obvious to ignore. In the Heroes and Villains arc that concluded Chuck Austin's run on X-Men, a new version of the Brotherhood appeared. The team was led by powerful mutant Exodus, who had once been Magneto's herald, and its other members included Avalanche, Sabretooth, who had simply been hired by Exodus, and new members Black Tom Cassidy, Mammomax, Nocturne, who was revealed to be spying on the team, and Juggernaut, who was later revealed to be a mole. After Black Tom killed Juggernaut's friend Sammy Pare, the Fish Boy, who was attacking Juggernaut for his apparent betrayal, Juggernaut lashes out and tries to destroy the Brotherhood. After knocking Juggernaut and several other members unconscious, Axis led his team to the Xavier Institute to claim revenge for the apparent death of Magneto. The entire team was defeated by the second Zorn, who sucked them into the black hole within his head. Zorn was sucked in as well, and Juggernaut followed her. They eventually landed in Mojo World, where the others sold Nocturne and Juggernaut to Mojo for their freedom. Next, in Young X-Men, Donald Pierce, in disguise as Cyclops, deceives several X-Men in training into attacking what he dubs a new incarnation of the Brotherhood, which consists of Cannonball, Danielle Moonstar, and Magma, all under the leadership of Sunspot, Lord Imperial of the Hellfire Club. However, this was just a manipulative ruse, and these 4 new mutants were neither a team at a time nor conducting villainous activity. So essentially, they were just like nothing. My throat's killing me. There was also an all-female Brotherhood called the Sisterhood, which was formed by the Red Queen, revealed to be Madeline Pryor, who recruited Martinique Jason, Lady Mastermind, Chimera, and non-mutant Spiral and Lady Deathstrike. The Sisterhood was able to capture and brainwash a former X-Man, Psylocke, making her a member also. Although being neither female nor a recruited member, former Hellions member Empath was revealed to be helping the team in their attack against the X-Men. The Red Queen is later lured into a trap set by Cyclops, Madeline's former husband, and defeated. Psylocke broke free from her brainwashing and rejoined the X-Men. The other Sisterhood members all had escaped. In the miniseries Magneto, Not a Hero, Joseph is resurrected under unknown circumstances and forms a new Brotherhood of Mutants with Astra and mutated deformed versions of Blob, Mastermind, Quicksilver, Scarlet Witch, and Toad. It is soon revealed that the mutated versions of Blob, Mastermind, Quicksilver, Scarlet Witch, and Toad are clones created by Astra. All the clones were killed by Magneto. Joseph is created by Magneto and remained to Utopia's X-Break. So Joseph is a literal clone of Magneto. Couldn't give him something else if just call him Joseph. Like Magneto? No, that never mind. I tried one time. That was it. And we going into Daken, which if you don't know is Wolverine's son, actual son. In Uncanny X-Force, Wolverine's son Daken forms a new Brotherhood of Evil Mutants with Mystique, Sabretooth, Shadow King, Blob, the AOA version, Skinless Man, Weapon 3 of Weapon Plus, and the Omega Clan, consisting of Omega Red, Omega Black, Omega White, who each share the DNA of the original Omega Red, with the apparent goal of exacting revenge on X-Force. The group was seen recruiting Genesis as the next member in order to turn him into the new Apocalypse. That's all we got. We're almost done. A lot of reading. And y'all can find this all on like Wikipedia and Marvel.com. So if y'all want to read it yourselves and stuff. Lady Deathstrike's Sisterhood. Inspired by Madeleine's attempt of defeating the X-Men, Lady Deathstrike has recruited the likes of Typhoid Mary and Enchantress to put together an all-new sisterhood, her own Illuminati to take down the X-Men, as well as helping each one of them to achieve their individual goals. They have recently added the newly resurrected Selene to their ranks with the aid of the sentient virus Eureka, and intend to bring back Madeline Pryor herself as well. After Lady Deathstrike's host, Ana Cortez, had a change of heart being a supervillain and serving Archaea, she contacted the X-Men and informed them of the Sisterhood's location. Later, she committed suicide. Archaea placed Lady Deathstrike's consciousness in the same body Archaea used for her host, Rico. Archaea then took the Jean Grey genetic material she purchased and modified Ana Cortez's corpse so it could host Madeline Pryor. Amora completed the resurrection of Madeline Pryor. The X-Men assaulted the Sisterhood's hideout. They cut the hideout off the grid. The X-Men assaulted the Sisterhood, as most members of the Sisterhood did not particularly care for Archaea. They did not defend her to the fullest of their capabilities. Karima killed Archaea with a bullet specifically designed to destroy hive mind bacteria. As Archaea Prime was the queen bee of Archaea, Once she was killed, all archaeobacteria everywhere died. As Madeline and Celine left, Madeline informed the group of her plan to create a new sisterhood. Lady Deathstrike actually survived the destruction of Archaea. Creepy. Following the war with the Inhumans, the destruction of the remaining Terrigen cloud, a new group claiming to be the new Brotherhood of Evil Mutants appears. Consisting of a new Avalanche, a new Pyro, Mask, Magma, and a new reptile-looking member called Kologoth. They are led by a somehow re-empowered Mesmero and secretly funded by an anti-mutant activist named Lydia Nance. It was also discovered by the X-Men that Mesmo had used his powers to brainwash the members of his Brotherhood to join the team and force them to carry out those attacks. Once his control was broken, the Brotherhood was dissolved and Mesmo was arrested. Mesmo eventually escaped from the box and persuaded Pyro and Avalanche to help him get revenge on Lydia Nance. After the fight, the X-Men and the NYPD, the Brotherhood of Mutants, retreated to their hideout when Mesmo revealed that they were still under Lydia Nance's paycheck and she was the one who facilitated their escape from the box, and that she still plans for the Brotherhood of Mutants. While Pyro walked away upon not wanting to work for an anti-mutant activist, Avalanche remained with Mesmero and asked for Pyro's cut as well. Smart man. He's like, yo, he wants to leave, fine, but I want his money. I want half his money. That's smart. That's smart. Joseph's second opportunity. Taking the opportunity of Magneto disappearance, Joseph disguised himself as Magneto and appears to disband the former Brotherhood, only to sway Avalanche, Juggernaut, Pyro, Random, and Toad to form a new Brotherhood in the wake of the death of the X-Men. The Brotherhood went to an Air Force base in East Transia to put the fear in humans, but were confronted by a new group of X-Men led by a resurrected Cyclops. After the battle, Joseph's identity is revealed as the Master of Magnetism was kidnapped by Nate Gray and mind-controlled, became one of his horsemen of salvation. Jeez, I cannot talk. And finally, we will be talking about other versions of the Brotherhood. Magneto's second run with the Brotherhood. When Magneto time traveled 20 years into the future to escape an attack, he found a city in ruins and statues of himself all around. He was greeted by mutants who saw him as a savior. He was also greeted by the time-displaced X-Men, who said Magneto is beyond redemption and they should have stopped him when they had the chance. When Magneto returns to his own time, he decides it's time to stop pretending. He knows who he is and what he is. And he feels that being that person, that monster, is necessary for mutants to survive. His trip to the future assured him of that. Donning his classic red and purple costume, he steps onto his restored base, New Asteroid M, and calls upon his new Brotherhood of Mutants, which consists of Briar Riley, Toad, Exodus, Uniscone, Marrow, and Elixir. This new Brotherhood was short-lived, though, as Magneto soon afterwards captured and turned into a horseman of salvation. Elixir and Marrow were seen on Earth and members of Emma Frost's new Hellfire Club, while Exodus had established a new team of acolytes, with Uniscone one of its members. Ugh. That's a lot. Then we also have like some different versions of them and other medias of them and stuff like that. In the age of Apocalypse reality, Apocalypse is served by a strike force of mutant fanatics calling itself the Brotherhood of Chaos. Its members are Copycat, Box, Bind, Yeti, and Arclight. In Amazing Spider-Man Renew Your Vows, the Brotherhood of Mutants consists of Magneto, Blob, Toad, Mist, Mistress, Jubilee, and an unnamed mutant that resembles Crucible. They appear to attack the X-Mansion at the time when Spider-Man and his family are visiting. Spider-Man and his family join the fight against the Brotherhood of Mutants, who are also shown to have Emma Frost in their group. Magneto wanted Emma to operate Cerebro for the group. With the help from his Spider family, the X-Men defeat the Brotherhood of Mutants, who are remanded to the raft. This next version of the Brotherhood appeared in the Battle of Atom event, first posing as a future X-Men team who wanted to send the past X-Men to their own time. The true reasons to prevent past X-Men from suffering and dying in the future were revealed. They were soon at war against present X-Men, the Uncanny X-Men, and the True Future X-Men. Members include Zorn, the past Jean Grey who had to wear a Zorn mask to limit her powers, Charles Xavier II, the alleged son of the original Professor X, and Mystique, what? Beast, Ice Thing, a semi-sentient ice construct created by the future Iceman, Molly Hayes, Deadpool, and Ray's Logan, the son of Wolverine and Mystique, who first arrived disguised as Shadowcat. Holy crap, what? Some of the members of the future Brotherhood died during the event, while some of them survived and remain living in the present. Although it appeared that all Brotherhood members had survived when they infiltrated Cyclops' new school, after the Brotherhood were defeated by the past Jean Grey's mind powers, it was revealed that Zorn/Jean had been killed in their first appearance in the past. While all the Brotherhood's other members, except for Ray's Logan, were only working with the team due to the telepathic influence of Charles Xavier II. With Xavier II and Ray's both subdued, the former Brotherhood were freed and returned to their home future, while Charles II and Ray's Logan are left in the present, locked in the prison's cage. Prison's cage. Can't even talk. Why? In the next reality, Marvel Noir, this Brotherhood, led by Chief Detective Eric Magnus, a capable of corrupt and violent policeman doing the bidding of Sebastian Shaw. It is formed by Magnus, Dukes, Tyon B, and Wingrade. MC2. In Spider-Man, in the Amazing Spider-Girl number 22, a Sisterhood of Mutants is featured. This group consisted of Magneto, Impact, a super strong mutant able to increase the size of any part of her body, Pirouette, who can rotate at high speeds, and Headcase, a powerful psychic. House of M. In this alternate reality depicted in the '05 House of M storyline, the Brotherhood was created by an NYPD strike force team to take down organized crime. Members included John Proudstar, leader, Frank Castle, only human member who left due to seeing how the Brotherhood are mistreating the human criminals, Blob, Pharaoh, Taskmaster, Avalanche, Boom Boom, and Misty Knight, who had secretly infiltrated the Avengers and would later defect from the Brotherhood. Weapon X Days of Futures Now. In an alternate future of the '05 miniseries Weapon X Days of Future Now, Malcolm Colcord convinced people to hate mutants. In issue 4, most of the surviving mutants gather to see the return of Magneto. One of the groups is the Brotherhood, led by Sabretooth, consisting of Avalanche, Blob, Caliban, Hub, Mimic, Scalp Hunter. X-Men Fairy Tales and X-Men No More Humans. In the Marvel Fairy Tales continuity, the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants appears as a group of Oni, who have captured the Emperor's daughter, Jean Grey, hits home/Cyclops, subdues them. The team members used for this issue were Magneto, Quicksilver, Scarlet Witch, and Toad. Rays assembled a Brotherhood of Mutants with mutants from various alternate universes. All members were previously members of the Brotherhood of Mutants in the main universe. Pyro, Avalanche, Blob, Fantasia, Mastermind, Eunice the Untouchable, Lorelei, Vanisher, Toad, Fatal, Peepers, Quicksilver, Scarlet Witch. The X-Men eventually defeated Rage and his Brotherhood and sent each of the members back to their own home worlds. Wowsy. I'm trying to breathe. Marvel of 1902. In Neil Gaiman's Marvel 1902 series, Magneto is Enrique, the Grand Inquisitor of the Spanish Inquisition during the year of 1902, with brother Petros and sister Wanda, Pietro and Wanda Maximoff, respectively, serving under him as a messenger and assistant. Respectively, Enrique had been born a Jew in the ghetto of Venice, but he was taken away from his parents and raised within the Catholic Church. At some point, Enrique befriended Carlos Xavier, that world's Professor X, who crafted a helmet to protect Enrique from his psychic powers. After Toad, their spy at the Vatican, betrays the fact that they have been sheltering any witch breed, which for that time could be considered mutants, that can hide their powers, he and his children escape being burnt at the stake. Capture Toad and sail to the Americas, as Gaiman's reinterpretation of Magneto is more rooted in religion than morality. Here, his group is named the Brotherhood of Those Who Will Inherit the Earth. After a brief encounter with Carlos Xavier, in which Roberto Trefusis freezes their ship in the middle of the ocean, Enrique agrees to work with the other heroes. When the world is saved, Enrique departs, entrusting Wanda and Pietro to Javier, and instructing him to take care of them until he returns. and never tell them that they are his children. The fate of Toad in this world is unknown, but Enrique had promised to punish him for his betrayal, a punishment which was ultimately left unseen, which essentially means it never happened. And then we got the Ultimate Marvel. In Ultimate X-Men, the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants is called the Brotherhood of Mutant Supremacy, headed by a far more violent and genocidal version of Magneto. It was originally formed by Professor X and Magneto in a plan to create a safe haven for mutants in a city within the Savage Land, but Magneto had other plans to make the mutants more dominant over the humans. The original Brotherhood first seen consisted of Mastermind, Blob, Magneto's twins, Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, Toad, even Wolverine. Soon after their first appearance, Wolverine was planted in the X-Men as a mole and later defected to the X-Men. Cyclops once sided with the Brotherhood during Wolverine's infiltration, only to turn against the Brotherhood and assist the X-Men into fighting the Brotherhood of Mutants. When Magneto was seemingly killed by Professor X, Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch tried to use the Brotherhood in a more useful way of gaining mutant rights, such as proceeding with talks to the UN. This caused many splinter groups, such as the Acolytes, to split off and attempt to continue Magneto's genocidal techniques. During this short-lived, less violent phase, several mutant animal recruits rescued from laboratories were added, one of which was the mutated ape, Prosimian. But Magneto rejected them upon his return, seeing them as lower species like Homo sapiens, wiped out the mutant animals. In the Ultimate War and Return of the King storylines, Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch defected to the Ultimates to help stop the resurrected Magneto. Eunice, Detonator, Juggernaut, Longshot, Hard Drive, Rogue, Sabretooth, Vanquisher, Forge, and Multiple Man joined the Brotherhood. After being defeated by the X-Men, the Brotherhood receded for a time. Mystique and Forge free Magneto from his plastic prison cell in Traskelion, with Mystique taking his place to prevent anyone from realizing that Magneto is free. In the Ultimates 3, Magneto leads Sabretooth, Blob, Eunice, Multiple Man, Mystique, Pyro, Mastermind, and Lorelei in a fight against the Ultimates, after the death of his daughter Scarlet Witch at the hands of Ultron. The battle results in the seeming death of Quicksilver as well, though he is later revealed to be alive. Eunice being killed by Thor, and Mastermind being killed by Valkyrie, who also dismembered Pyro's hands. Magneto, Blob, Detonator, Forge, Hard Drive, Longshot, Lorelei, and Multiple Man are all killed during the Ultimatum storyline, during which Magneto tries to destroy the human race with Thor's hammer before being killed by Cyclops. Quicksilver turned up alive and was the one who shot Cyclops as he meets up with Mystique and Sabretooth. Quicksilver later reforms the Brotherhood of Mutants with Mystique, Sabretooth, Blob 2, / Teddy Allen, and has somehow revived Scarlet Witch. And obviously, we already know there's other forms of medias. Obviously, mainly all the films. First appearing in the X-Men in 2000. The group is initially consisted of Magneto, Mystique, Toad, and Sabretooth. They invented a machine that can trigger mutations in human beings. Magneto's plot to replace the human race with mutants. However, the plans were foiled by the X-Men after the latter discovers the machine destroys subjects' DNA, with Toad and Sabretooth being killed in the ensuing fight. In X2, Magneto and Mystique are joined by former Xavier Institute student Pyro. In the third installment, X-Men The Last Stand, the Brotherhood recruit Legion of Mutants into their ranks, including Phoenix, Mutant Prisoners, Juggernaut, Multiple Man, and the Omega Gang, consisting of Quill, Callisto, Arclight, Psylocke, Spike, Blobman, Herman, and Fat. Together, they oppose the creation of a mutant cure, though many of them are either subjected to it or fall in battle against various enemies. In the Dark Phoenix saga, a young Magneto forms a Brotherhood in the 1990s to avenge Mystique's death, recruiting Selene Galileo and Ariki. The Brotherhood hunt Mystique's killer, Jean Grey, though they and the X-Men end up captured by the U.S. government. While en route to a containment facility, the Dabari attack and Gailo and Ariki are killed in the ensuing battle. In the video games, they've appeared in X-Men Mutant Academy, X-Men Mutant Academy 2, X-Men Next Dimension. They've also appeared in the X-Men Legends games. The first game was based on the Asteroid M trilogy, and then they also appeared in X-Men Legends 2, Rise of Apocalypse. Then they appeared in X-Men Destiny, Marvel Avengers Alliance, Lego Marvel Superheroes, Marvel Strike Force, Marvel's Ultimate Alliance 3, The Black Order. So that's a lot. I didn't think they went into that. So, well, if it consists of, I guess, the X-Men, they're basically almost anything that has to do with the X-Men in general. So yes, that was the Brotherhood of Mutants, or the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, or the Brotherhood of Mutant Supremacy. And I know the history of the Brotherhood actually went so deep into this whole situation, and they're just a big of an organization as the X-Men are. In all reality, the X-Men have been some of these X-Men have actually been part of the Brotherhood, good ways or bad, forced or not forced, But I feel like there's 3, maybe 4 constants with these Brotherhood teams. You always have a Magneto, Mystique, Toad, and Blob. Those are like almost your 4 core people in each of these groups. If you really listen back, I said Mystique, Toad, Blob, and obviously Magneto a lot. So, but this was a fun one, actually. It was an interesting one. I didn't know about the children stuff. Like Charles too. Mystique and Charles banged out. Okay. Do you? Huh. I'm intrigued by that. And then I know Ray's Logan. I didn't know, what's his name? Logan even had another child. I know about Dakin, and then obviously the clone X-23, but that's it. So that's kind of cool. But again, what do y'all think about this? Hit me up in the comments. Hit me up on X, at Melopod22. Let me shout out. Or hit up my email, cjfeliciano2011@gmail.com. I hit y'all back as soon as possible. We can talk about it, have a small discussion about it. But as you guys always know, always and forever, one love. Peace.